Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome back to Auto News Now. I'm your host, Laura Harris. Today we have the latest headlines from our reporters to you. The U.S. is set to propose a rule on minimum standards and requirements for federally funded EV chargers. The proposal comes as the federal government moves forward on a plan to build a nationwide network, with a goal of 500,000 EV charging stations by 2030. The $1 trillion infrastructure law will fund this proposal. White House and administration officials say the standards will help ensure that a national EV charging network is accessible, user-friendly, and interoperable between different charging companies across a broad range of vehicles. The proposal breaks down into several main points. One requirement is to build EV charging stations every 50 miles. Another will require real-time information on station location, availability, and pricing. Also, there needs to be consistency in EV charger installation, operation, and maintenance. States have until August 1st to submit EV infrastructure deployment plans to the Joint Office of Energy and Transportation. European Union lawmakers will sustain a ban on new internal combustion engine cars by 2035. Members of Parliament voted against an amendment that would have eased a current requirement on automakers to cut emissions. Initially, the new amendment will require cars to cut emissions by 90%. This is 10% less than last year's 100% requirement proposed by the Commission. Negotiations with member states will happen later this year to set the final law. If an agreement is reached, it may be the end of combustion engine cars in Europe. U.S. traffic deaths are on the rise. In fact, the preliminary yearly increase reported its highest number of deaths since the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration first began using its traffic fatality tracking system in 1975. To put it in perspective, last year, traffic deaths jumped 10.5%. There were over 42,000 fatalities. This is the highest number of people killed on U.S. roads in a single year since 2005. A U.S. House of Representatives committee will hold a hearing on the increased deaths and future efforts to build safer roads. The subcommittee will hear witnesses from several different associations. Is Ford trolling Tesla? That's what some people think. This news comes as recent images of the F-150 Lightning pickup are surfacing online. The pictures show that this Ford EV now comes with an adapter for charging Teslas. While some are quick to question why, Ford CEO Jim Farley let his Twitter followers know that the automaker means well. Farley says in his own tweet, "Not trolling, just helpful." Ford is making a name for itself with the F-150 Lightning, with its bidirectional charging capability, a key selling point of the pickup. If you want to read more on any of these headlines, check out our reporter stories on AUTONEWS.com. Thanks again for watching. I'm your host, Laura Harris. See you all tomorrow.